We all strive to be our personal best in whatever it is we do, be it our jobs or schoolwork, creating art, or getting and seeing results in some way. We all want it to be perfect, flawless, and I'm talking no mistakes. Everybody in awe, jaw dropped. And I'm gonna level with you because as a video creator, I want you to be personally blown away by the results of this video right here. But I've been asking myself lately, what kind of perfect, spectacular alignment of details am I even searching for? And what kind of perfect do I want to get out of my results? Well, this video is for anyone that feels like they're kind of just sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect, quote unquote, perfect time to act. So, I'm going to be reading to you a paragraph from the book Art and Fear by David Bayles and Ted Orland. The ceramics teacher announced that he was dividing the class into two groups. All those on the left side of the studio, he said, would be graded solely on the quantity of work that they produced. All those on the right solely on the quality. On the final day of class, he would weigh the work of the quantity group, 50 pounds of pots rated an A. Those being graded on quality, however, needed to produce only one pot. A perfect one to get an A. Well, come grading time, and a curious fact emerged. The works of highest quality were all produced by the group being graded for quantity. It seemed that while the quantity group was busily churning out piles of work and learning from their mistakes, the quality group had sat theorizing about perfection and in the end had little more to show for their efforts than grandiose theories and a pile of dead clay. So, what does this tell us? I have a bit of an idea. If you're sitting on the sidelines waiting to act, stop. Just get in there and start playing the game as soon as possible. You see, in the story, the quality group, they spent all of their time thinking and ideating and building upon a plan for how they were going to make the perfect pot, right? The first try was going to be the best try. And that sounds pretty solid. I mean, it's pretty much essential to have a sort of plan for how you're going to do something. And meanwhile, on the other side of it, the quantity group, right, they didn't care about a plan. They just said, give me that clay, and they molded like this and they just threw it in the oven, right? They didn't care if it was going to be a bowl or a soup strainer. They didn't care about what the product was going to look like. They just cared about producing and producing. But the funny thing that happened was the quality guys, they're sitting there pontificating on how to make the perfect pot. But they lack one thing, and that one thing is experience. You see, that barrier to entry, that lack of experience, was a major roadblock for them. When the product was all said and done, they simply did not have another chance to analyze the product that they had made and improve upon the results. They just had that one try. So no matter the amount of focus and attention that they put into the plan, they lacked the experience. They just didn't know how to work with the clay, and they didn't know how to work with the pots. The point of why I'm making this video is I've been wanting to make YouTube videos ever since I was 14. I'm 20 now. And the thing that stopped me from making YouTube videos from starting when I was 14 and truly committing is I would always say to myself, oh, I don't have a fancy camera, or, oh, I don't have a film studio. I've just got to wait until the product is going to look better for people. But I started to realize that I was just sitting on my couch, not making anything, and making excuses for why I wasn't making anything. So I just finally decided that I've got to jump in there, and finally started following the logic that, okay, when I turn on the camera and start talking to an audience, then I'm just naturally going to get better over time with experience. And it doesn't really matter, if the first videos suck, right? The future videos are going to be improved because the last videos sucked. The last videos, they're just a stepping stone to the future. When I am better in the future, I have those things to look back on. I made some ambitious short films in high school. I remember one. It was like 35 minutes long. I had written a script, and I had taken $500 that I had made from my dishwashing job, and I had brought us all down to the Redwoods, and I was paying for, a camera rental and hotel and food for everyone and all these travel expenses. But when it came down to it, it seemed that I got bogged down by all the details. Things weren't turning out right. Things weren't cutting together right. Somewhere along the lines, I got caught up in my own ambition. And it's freaking great to have ambition, but here's where it can go wrong, okay? That film doesn't exist anywhere. It doesn't exist because I never released it. And I never let anybody see it because I felt like some of the details were bad. They were lacking that perfection that I was looking for. And I honestly can say that I regret that decision to not release it anymore because, I wasn't afraid of being judged by other people for those products. I just said to myself, hey, I could do better. And while it's great to think we can do better with something, it's also great to just get out of our own way sometimes. Let me tell you a story about another one of these ambitious projects. So in my high school town, there was this old hotel. I think it was the oldest, building in all of downtown. I saw this magnificent hotel and I said, man, I gotta film in that hotel. So I wrote up a script, this film about this hermit type character that lives in this hotel year round to escape his past. And I met with the manager of the hotel and I said to him, hey, look, I really want to make one of my short films in your hotel. So I gave him the pitch, I told him what it was about, I handed him the script, and he gave me like the most luxurious room in the whole hotel. It was like a corner room and had its own kitchen and living room, and it was magnificent, right? I've just got a lot of my friends, that I'm making this film with. I've got like 4 of my friends on crew and 2 or 3 of my friends on cast, acting. So we're in this hotel, we're in the kitchen filming a scene, and all of a sudden, we're just kind of blocking this dialogue scene. But again, I'm in high school, so I don't have a lot of experience, with short films and how things should look. I don't really have the mind yet for strategically mapping out, where things should be. So we're filming this dialogue scene in the kitchen, and it's just not turning out right. The blocking isn't looking good, and I'm just not quite sure, how this scene's gonna cut together. We're filming on, I think it was a Thursday and Friday, so they're school nights. So, right after school, we're going to this hotel, and we're filming in this hotel like 8 hours each night, right? So long into the night. So we're in the kitchen filming, and I don't have a clue how this thing is gonna edit together. It's weird, and I just wasn't capable of doing the correct blocking for the scene. And that scene went pretty rough because I wasn't sure what my strategy was for filming it. So after we filmed that scene, we're on a break, and I say to my friend Finn, who's the camera operator, I say, look, man, everyone's doing great work. I just don't think that like this thing is gonna cut together well. I don't think it's gonna look all right. And he says, so what? Pretty much. He pretty much says like, so what to me, right? What am I complaining about? And I say, so, I don't want to release this film and let anyone see it if it's just shit. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make a bad short film here. And he says, look, man, we're here. We're making this film. We're having a great time doing it. We're learning a lot. We're basically team building and all working together and filming. Like, we're not professionals here. We're just in high school. And it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to look exactly how you imagined it in the script because you just don't have those capabilities or those skills yet. And he says, at least after the end of this, you will have made a film. It doesn't matter if the film is good or bad. At least by the end of it, you would have made something. And 1, that that's experience of making something and finalizing it. And 2, that's like showing everyone else, showing the world basically that, hey, I'm here, this is what I do. And unfortunately, I didn't take his advice. My gut feeling was correct that it didn't look good in the edit. But I wish that I would have just pushed on and finalized it. Even if I wasn't, happy with some of those details, I think I would have been much happier if I just kind of got it off my chest and finished what I started. The way I look at it is, perfection can be refined out of process. Here's the moral to that whole clay pot story. You can spend your whole life reading books about gardening and studying the weather patterns and learning just perfect propagation systems, like figuring out what are the perfect secrets to gardening. But you'll never know what it feels like to just, hold a plant in your hands and knew that you grew that damn thing. You'll never know that. You'll never have the experience of gardening. It doesn't mean a thing to keep ideas inside of your head. If you feel like you have a craving to let the world know something, just let it out. When I was a kid, all I dreamed of was like changing the world with my films. But I kept the world from seeing my ideas and my talents because I felt like the outcomes wouldn't be good enough. So I'm gonna leave you with this. If you're waiting to do something or you have an idea or a craving inside of you, just get out there and do something about it. Don't wait for any ideal situation. Don't wait for anything. Don't wait around for this idea that everything you do on the first try is going to be perfect, because it's not. But what I think is the ideal situation is finding your personal perfect by eventually building out of experience. So if you've been working for years on that SoundCloud mixtape, just please link it in the comments so I can hear it and so that you can finally let it out into the world. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share this video with someone if you feel like they need to hear it. Alright everyone, I'm Bruce Bradbury. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.